All right, so why don't we do a topic we've seen before? Some tip came across my timeline, so I was like, you know
Some
what?
tip of what?
Yeah.
We're going to see how much a table of 6 women tipped. First one, total was $51, they left $9. Second one, total of $32, $0 tip. $55, $0 tip. $60, left $6. $21 left $7, and then $23 left $4. So I am grateful for any tip, but would prefer 20%.
Did she not say somebody had a $21 bill and left $7?
Mm-hmm.
$21 left $7.
Isn't that like well over 20%?
Yeah.
But there was like videos of people complaining about tipping, but the one I really wanted to show you was this one.
When this woman tried tipping this restaurant, she came across the craziest situation.
Y'all check your places. I think somebody touched on this not too long ago, but
Okay, did you see that?
It doesn't change. Wait, go ahead.
No. The checkout is $40. She clicked 20%. It gave her a $30 tip. Do you understand what that means?
That means that this machine is rigged.
$30 tip on 40 is close to like 75, 80%.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot of these things, different things when it comes to tipping. You saw people crying. You saw other folks tipping on wedding dresses.
Brittany Henderson Curry says she left a 15% tip on a $1,700 dress. If you do the math, that's $255.
You go to self-checkout. They ask you to tip on self-checkout at a grocery store.
The worst that I got is I was at the airport.
Okay.
And they have these stands where you select your product and then you scan it and then you pay.
Yeah.
Bitch, they asked me for tip. I'm like, am I tipping me? Because
you did the work.
I even did the cashier's work.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to tip who? Even the Uber drivers are like, yo, ganging up on you. You seen those videos?
What, Uber drivers asking for
It's
tip?
like, when it's like the person step up there.
Look, this guy is asking me for a tip because he's an Uber XL and he doesn't want to take me because I have a mini fridge. He wants a little bit something extra in order for his trouble. So no, he's asking.
Refrigerator.
It's a mini fridge. It weighs 61 pounds.
It's a refrigerator.
It's a mini fridge.
What'd you think? Wrong or good?
Wrong.
Who's wrong?
Driver. Uber driver.
I agree. My reasoning, what's yours?
Huh?
What's your reasoning?
Uber XL. He has a fucking trunk. He has a truck. Like, what are we talking about? He's already paying extra for the XL in Uber.
I will prove to you that there's nothing wrong with this. Super easy. You go to the airport. You take your luggage with you. I've never had an Uber driver tell me you want to bring luggage with you.
Oh, 100%. There you go.
What? If an Uber driver said some shit like that to me, I'm canceling and I'm reporting his ass.
Oh, 100%.
Guys,
100%.
he ordered it. If it was a regular Uber and he did that, I could understand.
It's XL. I got no sympathy for that.
You know what I mean? At XL, you put in 5 people, all weighing 150 pounds each. Like, you're doing too much.
No.
You know, if he was bringing multiple boxes, okay, maybe.
He's already paying extra for the XL.
Yep.
What are we talking about?
Yep.
Look, if you don't want to take me, then be my guest, cancel, and I'll get somebody else to come pick me up. But you're the one that's gonna cancel. It's you.
He has a navigator. Oh, fuck me sideways.
What does that mean?
That's a big ass truck. Nah, B. That's a fucking goddamn limousine up in this bitch. You can store 7 passengers in there. You have a problem with a 61-pound fridge? Nah.
I'm telling you.
Hell nah.
That's your name?
Yeah, whatever the fuck, man. You said I'm a refrigerator.
Yes. Okay, well then cancel.
So not only is this Uber driver breaking the policy and doing this whack ass shit, he's asking the passenger to cancel.
So that the passenger, yeah.
So the passenger starts to pay him. Yo, Uber drivers, a lot of them are super slimy.
Yeah.
I saw one Uber driver, he has his trick. He essentially drives closer to the place and then stops somewhere that's nearby, like 3 minutes away, and just sits there. So if you have to go somewhere, they're hoping you cancel so that they still get the money for the ride or part of it.
Yep.
There's a lot of slimy shit.
I don't appreciate what people do for
You're an Uber driver. It's your job.
It's a Lincoln Navigator, bro.
No.
Ain't no way.
No.
Look up Lincoln Navigator.
It's okay, I know.
Look it up. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm screaming.
It's okay. I got neighbors, please. There's a lot of debate.
Yeah.
Over time, I think there's been a more increased negative sentiment towards tipping. I think studies show that the majority of people in North America hate tipping culture and the way it's going. And I'll say my European friends who live in many European countries where they don't tip look at us and think we're crazy. And having traveled to their countries, gone to many restaurants where they don't tip, I've also seen that the service is equal, if not better in many places. So the question I always ask myself is like, okay, we're not getting better service. We're having to pay more. They're not necessarily always getting a good wage for the work that they do. Tipping, from what I understand, is a way for the restaurant to get extra profits because they themselves don't have to pay the proper wage to their employees. But to me, that just screams that a lot of these restaurants shouldn't be in business because they don't make enough money to pay them well enough, or they're greedy and they want to take all the money.
Well, it depends where you're at, because sometimes it is the law. For example, here, all the service and the people that are working in the service, by law, it is their wages on tip. So they minimum salary is not the same as our minimum normal salary, and they get taxed on the tips. So it's part of the way it's done here, even by law. But by law, here you pay. For example, you're a server, you're gonna be paid a lower rate, and you're gonna be charged 8% on your tips.
Okay, my question is, they don't have to charge the $3 an hour. They can charge. They can.
The government?
No, the restaurant. It's not by law that they have to pay the minimum, the minimum set for restaurants and for service. They can technically just pay their restaurant.
They could, yes, they could. That's correct.
Okay,
You're
okay,
right. You're right.
yes. All right, so it's not a law that makes them pay that.
No, but
They
there's a
choose
law.
them.
If you choose to go by that, by law, you have to pay that amount, and they will pay that amount. But yes, you're right.
Okay.
You don't have. Yes, you're right. You don't have to.
Okay, because when you said there was a law that makes it that way, I'm like, I don't think that's. But I understand what you're saying. There's a law that enables them to, and if they do, they have to pay a certain amount of taxes on the tips.
That's the proper words. Yes.
Okay. No, that was something. I was like, oh shit! By law, are these restaurants forced to pay them $3 an hour? Okay, makes more sense. But yes, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about tipping culture? How do you feel about the whole Europe versus here, places where they don't do tips versus where they do, where they pay less, etc.
I've been to Europe countries where they don't accept tips. Yeah, like you said. And where I've been, I haven't been to France. But where I've been, I haven't been to Paris. Let's put it that way. But where I've been, the service was pretty much the same. It was service. They're paid their wage or whatever. And I've been to a place where they don't necessarily accept tips. No, they don't enforce tips. But if you leave it, they'll be glad. They'll be happy. Me personally, if I have a great freaking service with a smile, I appreciate that. I tip. That's probably the way I was raised and the way it was. So I travel with that. But I'm not gonna tip people that really went where it's frowned upon. Here it's getting abusive because I don't want to fucking go to Subway and then yes, you made my sandwich, but I'm not even eating at your place. Like someone has to make the sandwich. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Someone has to make it. And then I have to tip you. I'm not even eating at your spot. And from the back, you're asking for 18%. That's a bit crazy. Hairdressers ask for a tip. That's crazy. That's your product, your expertise. That's if I want to leave a tip to my barber, that's up to me. But I've seen some places that they really ask for that. I've been fortunate enough, my barber don't do that, but still. There's some places where they go overboard, really. There's no, I'm sorry, you go buy a wedding dress and the person's like, what? What, I gotta shop the Macy's and I gotta tip the person too? That would be crazy. You're doing the same thing. Oh no, but I'm an expert. Okay, well, the person that is employing you should pay you that expert fee because I'm not paying for a $30 dress. Sometimes you have $14,000 for a dress or whatever, whatnot. So, food trucks. You made the food. I'm not even eating at your spot. You don't have a seating area. Where am I? What? I take my own plate to the trash can. What service are you doing? You're not even cleaning tables. So I'm like, yeah, here in the West, it's getting really out of hand sometimes.
I just hate the idea that so I've heard some people say, if you're not going to tip, I'm not going to offer good service. And it's like, okay, so your only incentive for doing your job is whether or not I give you 20% of this bill.
Here, that is really what it is, because the thing that happened is that if you just pay what your drink is, they're gonna get taxed on that.
And I've seen bartenders. If you don't tip them, they take it into note, and if you try to order something again, I've seen them just hand people glasses with like ice in it, and then like a drop of the drink. I've seen them get really pissy about it.
I can understand
or
that.
they ignore it. And I get it based off how they get paid, but you have to understand, it is probably one of the only industries where it's like that. Other people, they get paid a wage that they're supposed to get paid, and they're expected to give a service because they get paid appropriately, right? And also, think about the idea that, like, let's all be honest, none of this correlates with better service. We all agree? Because if that's what you guys are saying, that means that everywhere else that isn't the restaurant industry that doesn't involve tips, they're not offering good service. That they don't come to work and try. That's what essentially you're saying. I don't believe that. I've never been to a restaurant and thought, wow, when I come here, I get served so much better than when I go to anywhere else where they don't accept. That's just not my reality. Is it yours here in North America? I mean, I go to Home Depot and people are super helpful and give
because they're not paid the same wage that the bartenders are paid, and they're not they don't have to pay extra taxes for that wage. So I can understand that they're like, yeah, I'm paid for my service. It's just like whenever you used to go to Future Shop back in the days, and people were like, yo, you want this, you want that, because they were paid. They had commission. You go to Best Buy, they're like, hey, what's up? You good? Cool. That's part of my job. I'm paying the wage. I'm not paying under. I'm paid what I'm here to serve you. So let's go. That's a bit of difference. I'm paid to really serve you. I already make my money. Whether I sell more or not, I'm good. So I'm gonna sell you what you need and not try to oversell you. Do you want another product, other this? You know what I mean? So
you're technically making my point.
I am making your point.
What that essentially says is that people who get paid on commission literally don't have your interest at heart. They have no incentive to really make sure that you're getting the best thing. They have only an incentive to make sure they sell as much as possible, irrespective of your need. I know, because I did sales for a very long time. Half the shit that we had to sell, they didn't want to buy it that much. I had to really move to convince them. So my whole idea is that the best service is one that's neutral and that, like, how can I help you, but not one that's forcibly trying to get you to get things you don't need. Okay?
Yeah.
So all I was trying to say with this is that the service that I'm getting from people who are asking for tips isn't above and beyond, yet based off the price tag involved, I'm expected to go above and beyond. That, to me, that correlation is an interesting one.
But the other aspect as well of tipping is that I know that if I go to certain places and I tip more, the next time I'm gonna go, they take me more in consideration than other people.
Sure.
I know I'm gonna pass lines. I know I might be able to move. I'm not gonna do it, but they're gonna move people off the table for me to sit at. That is what happens. So yes, sometimes it correlates with better service, but to me, in the restaurant world, in the service world, in the F&B world, food and beverages world, if you tip more, it does equal better service. But what I've seen commission world, it's not the same thing because
that's predatory. If you pay for more stuff, they're just gonna try to sell you more shit.
Yes, it is predatory.
Yeah.
So the food and beverage industry is really different than, for example,
Commissions.
I didn't like doing commission. I didn't like doing sales when they try to see. Yeah, you have to. There was one thing when I was working selling cell phone. There was something that they were calling IPS, which is item per sale. So you couldn't just sell a phone. You'd have to sell accessories with your phone. And sometimes I'm like, you don't need it. You already have it. But I had to push it. I'm like, it's a bit disingenuous.
I get what you're saying. Yes, if you were to tip 50, 60, 100% more, yes. If you pay 20%, they don't give a f.
No.
They're not going to offer you
nothing.
But
it's normal.
But that's the standard, right?
Yeah.
If I go to Best Buy and I slip the nigga 50, when I come back, he's also going to give me. Why? Because I'm going above and beyond unnecessarily, I'm going above and beyond.
He's going to get fired. He's not allowed to.
Regular tipping, which is the standard that they're expecting, is not getting you better service.
No, it's not. You're right.
I can go anywhere. There's not even restaurant there. If I hand you the door $100, I'm getting in right away. That's not a restaurant thing. That's an everybody thing. Now, if you want to pay for extra features, baby boy, baby girl, baby boy, go right ahead. But here, we're paying for extra features. We're not getting extra service.
Sure.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
I go out, I pay a tip because it's a standard here, and I'm not going to.
Same.
At the end of the day, the restaurant workers, I'm not trying to shit on them. Okay?
I did the same thing. I'm in the same boat and I've been rowing, so I understand. So I'm a tip.
I'm not trying to shit on them because at the end of the day, we have the structure in place. But
Yep.
I think the structure sucks. I think that they should remove the tipping and force these restaurants to pay them appropriately and give them raises based off performances in need. But that's me personally. I know a lot of people who work in the service industry who would hate that because they actually make quite a bit of money from these tips. I know some people who are making mid to high five figures in some places, which is a lot, but hey, get your money. I'm not going to stop nobody. But the tipping stuff is just crazy. Like, they're asking for tips in places that makes no sense. I feel like there should be change because if it's not offering a better service and it's just putting it on the consumer, I'm like, well, why? Why is that a good thing? I will say, though, one thing that's interesting about tipping, when you have bad service or mid-service, tipping 10% is not well seen either. But it's like, okay, I pay 20% for mid-service. I pay 25 maybe for very good. But if I pay less and your service wasn't that good, I'm the bad guy.
Yes.
That's the standard.
Yeah.
So even though we say tipping might correlate, if I tip you less for it, you're gonna look at me like I'm a piece of shit, even though your job reflected you should get a 0%, bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got my orders wrong. You was over there yapping. You didn't make me feel reassured that you're gonna bring the shit out. It's like, I've never done it before. I've seen someone else that I was out with do it, and I thought her reaction. Hey man, you know, shout out to Guillaume. You know, this was like a dude I was with. And he didn't care. He threw it.
Either what?
Oh, he was like, oh, both of these. And he was like,
Yo, he was French.
He was an individual.
French.
Yes.
From Paris.
Yes.
Yeah.
He smelled like it. And fromage. No. My French people are fine. The ones who shower. And he did that, and I saw her shocked. But in my head, I'm like, is he really that crazy? Like, I wouldn't have done it because I don't want to deal with this weird interaction. I can't be bothered to have you be like pissy about it, and I could afford it. But is he wrong?
No.
There you go. But anyways, I just want to have this quick chat about it because I saw some of these videos and they made me laugh. All right. Anyways, that's it for this.